Congratulations! You have been selected by your local as a delegate to the CUPW National Convention. This edition of the convention takes place at the Westin Harbour Castle Hotel in Toronto. Once you have arrived, you should first register and pick up your convention material and earphones. Immediately after registering, feel free to go check out the location of your regional caucus room. What follows is a short guide to the convention and your role as a delegate. First, we want to welcome you to this week of exciting debate in which we hope you will take an active part. You are already well aware of the issues that will be covered during convention since you have had an opportunity to debate them with members from your local and region. Remember, one of your primary responsibilities is to represent your members and accurately reflect their views. While convention is on, it is very important to be on time for the scheduled events. Please be sure to wear your ID card in full view so it can be checked by the Tylers every time you enter the convention hall. Tylers are CUPW members who look after security. When on the convention floor, please sit in the section designated for your delegation. You will notice observers at convention. They sit in a section reserved for them on the convention floor. However, they have no voice or vote at convention. Your main role as a delegate will be to actively take part in debate on the floor. You can do this by speaking to the floor at the mic and voting when required to do so. However, there is much more. As a delegate, you will be called on to attend your region's caucus, as well as other meetings and workshops where you will be discussing specific issues. Check the convention agenda for meeting times and locations. Elections will take place on Friday, the last day of convention. They will begin at 10 a.m. and will remain on the convention agenda until all elections have been completed. Elections for national positions will take place on the convention floor, while those for regional positions will take place in the regional caucus rooms. Throughout the convention, you will be debating resolutions. A Constitution Committee and a General Resolutions and National Policies Committee are responsible for submitting resolutions to delegates on the floor. Don't forget, these resolutions will not be submitted in the same order as they appear in your resolutions book. This is because these committees will decide on the final order in which each resolution will be presented to the floor to ensure the debate process is conducted as efficiently as possible. For each resolution, the committees have adopted a recommendation of concurrence or non-concurrence. Debating and voting will be based on this recommendation. For example, suppose a resolution is presented to hold a national convention every 5 years. The committee reads out the recommendation and recommends its adoption, concurrence. If delegates vote yes to the recommendation, the resolution passes because the vote is on the committee's recommendation, which is concurrence. However, if the delegates vote no, the resolution is defeated, again because the vote is on the committee's recommendation, which is concurrence. A resolution dealing with CUPW's Constitution will be presented by the Constitution Committee. A resolution dealing with the Union's national policies or a general matter will be presented by the General Resolutions and National Policies Committee. Since delegates have a time limit of 3 minutes to speak to the floor at a mic, make sure your arguments are clear and to the point. When a resolution is debated, one of 3 outcomes is possible. It is carried or adopted. It is defeated or rejected. It is referred back to the committee for reformulation. A delegate who asks for a referral of the resolution can provide instructions clarifying the reason for the referral. Motions are voted on by a show of hands or a standing vote. To be adopted, they must obtain a majority of 50% plus 1 of the votes. Remember that convention is a democratic exercise. Debate is on ideas and opinions and takes place in a spirit of mutual respect, solidarity, and comradeship. Have a great convention, everyone.